Hey, my feel good friend. I hope that you are having just a wonderful week, as always. Today, I'm super excited to hop onto this solo show. I don't know if you've noticed, but I am trying to do more solo shows, put myself out there a little bit more. Um, I think when I started my podcast, I was a little bit nervous. I really enjoy saying things the way I want to say them. And I'm way better at writing than I am at speaking. And so solo shows have always been a little bit stressful for me because I am always just worried about saying something the wrong way, or like I want to be able to express my ideas in the most streamlined, effective, efficient way for you, my feel good listener. And so up until the past month or two, I have mostly been, really deeply outlining, if not exactly writing out word for word my solo show scripts. And I kind of just feel like at this point in my business in the past few months, I have been able to more so, be comfortable speaking what I want to say in the way I want to say it. I've become more comfortable just speaking into a microphone, let's be honest, and all of those things. So I have been trying to incorporate more solo shows where I can really share my expertise, my opinions, my tips and tricks when it comes to marketing, social media, mindset, all those things, and go ahead and sprinkle those in with all of the wonderful interviews with my wonderful guests because, I love to talk to people as well. So we are not getting rid of those. But I don't know why I went off on this tangent. This is why I started out with just scripting out my episodes. But hey, this is part of my personality, and that's what you're going to get. Today, I am super excited to talk about why you might not be making sales when it comes to your social media marketing, right? Some mistakes that you might be making or the reasons you might not be seeing your return on investment or boost in sales when it comes to the effort that you're putting into your social media marketing. I'm going to be sharing 5 to 6 reasons. It might turn into 6, we will see. As to, if you are asking yourself, I'm doing all the work, I'm putting in the effort, I'm posting all the time, doing all the things. Why the heck is no one buying from me? If you've been asking that question, well, my friend, today, this episode might just be the episode for you, give you a little insight into what you may be doing wrong, quote unquote, and also help give you insight into what you can do to improve to hopefully be boosting those sales, especially as we are coming into this holiday season. I know it is early on, still feeling in your mind. You might be thinking that the holidays are so far away, but my friend, this is also a little, nugget in your ear right now. Let's start thinking about these holiday season coming up this year. The sooner you can start thinking about the holidays, the better. Believe me. Okay, so before we dive in, I do want to say once again, as always, well, firstly, thank you so much for tuning into the Feel Good Social Podcast. You're the reason I show up, my friend, and I am so excited to be here with you. And also, if you do enjoy this episode, if you gain value from this episode at all, if you have any business buddies who could also benefit from tuning into this, I would absolutely adore it if you would share the Feel Good Social Podcast, specifically this episode, with them. And if you feel inclined to share it to your Instagram stories, if you listen on Spotify, which I know most people do listen on iTunes. I'm a Spotify person myself, but you can easily share episodes from Spotify to your Instagram stories. And there's actually a link up at the top, right underneath your profile photo that allows people to just click through to the episode, which is super cool, right? So if you share this episode to your Instagram stories, there's that link for your people to click through. And also make sure you tag me. I'm at Feel Good Social. I would absolutely love to see it. Reshare it, give you a follow, connect with you in the DMs, all the things. I want to hear from you. I want to see the posts that you make. And I want to just send you so much joy and love because that's what I do, my friend. And I'm so grateful for you. All right, let's go ahead and dive into this episode where I'm going to be sharing why you may not be making sales when it comes to your social media marketing and what you can do to improve and boost those sales using Instagram. friend, and welcome to the Feel Good Social Podcast. I'm your host, Kinsey, and I'm here to help you market your business in a genuine way that works without wasting your precious time. On this show, we chat about social media strategy and mindset tips with a focus on, you guessed it, feeling good. So sit back, relax, and enjoy some genuine conversation for the good of your biz. Do you know what your brand vibe is on Instagram? I have a new fun quiz that's just for you, my friend. I, of all people, know how hard it is to figure out how the heck you're supposed to translate your brand to the gram. And with this quick 7-question quiz, we will help you hone in on your brand's personality, voice, and visuals so that you can show up consistently and create content that looks beautiful and feels on brand for you. This quiz is so awesome. It's been a long time coming, and I know that you're going to have a lot of fun with it. Plus, the results will help you show up in the best way for you. If you'd like to check out our new brand vibe quiz, just head to feelgoodsocial.com/quiz. Pretty easy. Head to feelgoodsocial.com/quiz to find out what your brand's vibe is on social media and start showing up there for your brand. All right, my friend. So if you have been asking yourself, why the heck is no one buying what I'm selling on social media, then there are probably several factors at play here, which we will be covering most of them, and I'll be giving suggestions for how you can improve upon this to really boost those sales, okay? But the first place we really need to start is, am I actually showing up and marketing my business? Okay. And I want you to know that I'm over here on the other side of the earbuds, being not judgmental whatsoever. Believe me, I understand how scary it can feel to show up and actually start to market your brand, to put yourself out there, to even claim yourself as an entrepreneur, especially in the beginning. It can be really, really scary. It can be hard. You got a lot going on. And so there's no judgment. If you have not been really showing up and marketing your brand, no judgment over here, my friend. But I do want to encourage you to, with this question, with this first little topic, and with the topics moving forward, I want you to answer honestly and really assess your marketing strategy honestly, because that's the only way we can improve. Okay. So don't put any judgment or guilt or anything on yourself when it comes to this stuff. Believe me, I'm here boosting you up, giving you lots of love on this side of the earbuds. And I want you to do that to yourself too. Extend that same grace to yourself and just try to take the emotion out of it and assess what your marketing has been looking like honestly, and just look for ways that you can improve. This is an opportunity for improvement. I always say that whenever, especially when it comes up with my mindset coach meetings. I'm like, oh yeah, I totally did something, whatever it was that I was doing, that I'm like rolling my eyes at myself. I do this with my business too. It's like, why the heck did you do that, Kins? You know better. Why are you acting this way? Why can't you be a better person? Whatever the heck it is. And I have learned to try to release the guilt that I put on myself and just be like, okay, this is an opportunity for improvement. Okay. So that's always just this kind of little mindset shift that I make when it comes to stuff. And I want you to do the same for yourself, because it's fine. It's fine. We can only improve. It's great, right? So the very first thing that we need to make sure that you are doing is showing up and actually marketing your business consistently and strategically. Okay. Your brand and marketing strategy is the foundation for making more sales and creating a thriving business. And so if you can hone in and make sure that your marketing brand strategy is as streamlined and strategic as possible and continues to evolve to become even better over time, that's the place we need to start. Not only will this help you to boost your sales for sure, but also this just makes it easier for you to show up and market your business online. When you fully understand your brand strategy, when you fully understand your marketing and messaging strategy, then showing up and marketing your business and making more sales will just become easier. Okay, so that's what we need to start. If you do feel like you need help really honing in on your brand strategy, understanding who your brand is, your messaging, all those things, and your marketing strategy. Where do I need to be showing up? How do I need to be speaking to people? What do I need to be saying? How often? All those things. I have tons of resources for you. I mean, this podcast is a testament to those resources. Specifically, off the top of my head, I can think if you're struggling with your brand strategy, episodes 30 and 31 are great for that. 33 is also a storytelling episode. That's really, really great for like honing in on messaging and whatnot. And that can be helpful for creating posts that really touch people on an emotional level and compel them to buy from you. So episodes 30, 31, 33 are great for this. Or I have tons of freebies and resources on my website, Feel Good Social. Reach out to me in the Instagram DMs if you have like a specific problem and you really don't know where to go to solve your specific problem. Reach out to me at Feel Good Social in the DMs. I'm super friendly. I would love to chat with you, and I would love to send you a free resource that is super helpful for you, okay? But this is really the very first place we need to start is with your foundation for your marketing and creating a strategy for it, okay? And so tons of free resources. There's a lot of different levels of this, but the questions that I definitely want you to ask yourself, especially when it comes to your social media marketing, is am I showing up and marketing consistently for my brand? Because once again, I understand how scary it is to put yourself out there. And so I really want you to assess, am I actually doing it? Am I actually showing up in marketing? Okay. Then I want you to ask yourself, am I showing up in marketing to the right people? Ideal client work is so powerful when it comes to boosting your sales, okay? Because if you're showing up and marketing your brand to people who ultimately aren't going to buy from you, who ultimately you can't help in the best way, then that's obviously you're not going to make any sales, right? So I want you to ask, am I actually showing up and speaking directly to those ideal customers who selling would be easy to, because I'm helping to solve their problem in like an obvious way where they get excited to buy from me versus feeling like they're dragging their feet and I'm dragging my feet to sell to them. Okay. That is so powerful for boosting your sales first off. And then the third question that's really, really important when it comes to social media marketing strategy specifically is, am I showing up and marketing to the right people consistently in the right place? Okay, so I run into this a lot when it comes to social media because myself included, I find a lot of us kind of go to Instagram immediately because it's the popular platform. It might be more intuitive. There's a lot of different features and all those things, right? And so Instagram is a great place to be for most brands. But if you are a down-to-earth entrepreneur wearing all the hats and doing all the things and you have limited time, mental space, energy, money, all those things, then you really want to be picky about which platform you are showing up on. And say you are professional, you're a professional serving other professionals, maybe LinkedIn would be a better choice for you than Instagram, right? You know, there's debate if Pinterest is actually a social media platform, but I like to think of it as that when it comes to your marketing strategy because it takes time and effort to show up on Pinterest. But, you know, if you're a wedding photographer, if you are a designer, if you're whatever the heck type of people who show up on Pinterest, Pinterest is amazing for a lot of different industries, but that's another discussion. But, you know, maybe Pinterest is more worth your time than Instagram in a way, right? So think about who your people are, think about what you do to serve them and how you want to show up for them, and really think about, am I actually investing my time and energy in the right platform right now? Okay, so those are the major three questions that we should really, really be asking when we are talking about our marketing strategies and really building that foundation for making more sales when it comes to social media. Okay, so that's the place I want you to start, my friend. But if you do happen to be showing up consistently, putting in all the work, showing up in the right place, speaking to the right people, all those foundational things, you're doing it and you're still not making sales. Okay, let's move on to maybe some other reasons that you're not making as many sales as you would like to, especially via social media. Okay, so This is one of my favorite reasons that people aren't buying from people because I have been through it and I've been through it with most of my students and clients. But one of the main reasons that you're not making any sales from social media could possibly be that people just aren't seeing what you're selling enough, that you're not talking about it enough, that you're not posting about it enough, right? This happens all the time with brands, my friend, because I think firstly, it's scary for a lot of us to show up and sell online, right? And then also, a lot of us feel like we don't want to be overly naggy. We don't want to be overly pushy. We don't want to only be showing up and saying, buy for me, buy for me, buy for me. You know what I mean? And that's true to a certain extent, for sure. But at the same time, a lot of us take that and then never ever post about our offers, right? And I do slide into that sometimes. Like I really need to watch myself and make sure that I am actually showing up and selling on social media, that I'm actually showing up and talking about how you can work with me, my brand vibe bundles, my social map course, my one-on-one coaching. Like I need to actually be talking about that more. So I'm actually very guilty of this myself, let's be honest. But it's something that a lot of us fall into, is just posting, 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 value, value, value all the time. And then we never actually get around to talking about our offers. Or if we do, it's not enough. Okay. So this is a very straightforward, simple shift. I was going to say easy, and I kind of decided to take that back because sometimes selling can not be easy. I feel you with that, right? But it's a very simple shift to just start talking about your offers more so. Your sales will be boosted. Okay. It's just frequency, right? It's just like mathematics at that point. And so the one thing I want to say too is because there is this statistic out there that people need to see, hear, read something 7 to 10 times before they actually pay attention to it, before they actually remember it, before it actually sinks in, and before they actually take action on it, right? And that number is actually going up. I saw it like 22 times the other day. I think because of our decreased attention span and like our just bountiful content and like overly saturated markets and whatnot. But really, there's been studies done that people need to see, hear, read a topic, see an offer, whatever the heck it is, 7 to 10 times before they actually pay attention to it, remember it, it sinks in, and then they finally feel compelled to take action on it. So we really, really need to be increasing the amount of times that we're talking about our offers, that we are actually just showing up and straight up saying, hey, look what I have. I can help you in this way. Buy it from me, right? We need to be increasing that frequency. And I want to just say that you probably do need to increase it. Okay. If you're worried about, is this going to be too much? It's probably not too much. Really, the only time when I would say that you're selling too much in a way is if literally every single one of your Instagram posts is, hey, look what I have, buy from me. Hey, look what I have, buy from me, right? We don't necessarily want every single one of your Instagram posts to be that direct promotional salesy, as in, buy from me, buy from me, buy from me, like the old freaking commercials, like used car commercials or whatever. But we do need to be talking about our offers more so. And there are ways to sell that isn't just like directly, look what I have, buy from me, right? I keep thinking of that. I don't know if you remember that character from SNL that was like Stuart. Look what I can do. That's how I feel. That's the voice that I feel like I'm using when I'm like, buy for me. Anyway, I digress. Long story short, I really want you to consider, have I been talking about my offers enough? Okay. And it's probably no. And so I want you to think about, how can I incorporate more of my offers into more of my content and show up and talk about it more frequently? And again, it doesn't always have to be buy for me. It can be through storytelling. It can be through customer testimonials. It can be through all these different ways talking about your offers. Okay. Have you been wanting to create a new website? My friend, I have just the website template shop for you. I recently used one of the templates from the gals at Go Live HQ to create my new author website, and it could not be more awesome. Not only was the template super easy to use, I swear it was laid out perfectly already, so I customized it with my own photos and copy in like 2 hours. But also, it ended up looking so freaking beautiful in a way that I know I would not have been able to achieve if I'd started from scratch. Go Live HQ has tons of beautiful Squarespace templates so you can easily create and launch your dream website in just a few hours and not have to keep tweaking things forever until it's 6 months later and your website still isn't live. That may or may not have happened to Feel Good Social's website. So believe me, I feel you on that. And the cherry on top, the Go Live gals created a coupon code for you, my Feel Good listener. Just head to feelgoodsocial.com/go live and use the coupon code feelgoodsocial to receive 10% off your template. Again, head to feelgoodsocial.com/go live and use the code feelgoodsocial for 10% off. Pretty cool, huh? I cannot wait to see which template best fits your brand. I went with the Jada Ellis template myself for KinseyAlyssa.com, but it was seriously a really tough choice. So when you do, head to feelgoodsocial.com/go live and snag your new template. Make sure you send me the link to your new website because I definitely want to see it. All right, let's dive back into this episode, my friend. So there is this old 80-20 rule that you might have heard before, where a lot of times you'll hear people saying, okay, 80-20, you need to show up and give value 80% of the time, and then 20% of the time you can sell. Okay. And that's how you build people's trust. And that's how you don't seem salesy and whatever. And I agree with that to a certain extent. I always laugh at statistics because I love statistics. They give us an idea of how we might want to approach something and how we can separate our thoughts and like really formulate a strategy and all those things. But statistics are not set in stone. They are not the law necessarily. It's okay to blur the lines a little bit. And so when it comes to showing up and selling more often on social media, I don't necessarily want you to keep the 80-20 rule in your mind as a rule. Okay. I think that 20% of the time should be those Stewart posts. Buy from me. Look what I have. Look what I can do. Whatever it is, right? 20% of your posts, I think, as a general rule of thumb, should be the, hey, look what I have. Look how I can help you. Buy from me sort of thing, right? Then the 80% of the time is where we can break things up a little bit more. Okay. So I do think it is important to be showing up and just giving value without expectation of your audience. For like, let's say 30% of your posts can be value-based, value-oriented, all those things, like just non-promotional posts. And I think the other, what are we looking at? 50%? I'm like, what are these numbers? I think 50% of your posts can still be showing up and talking about your offers, AKA selling, but in a non-promotional way. And that's where the storytelling comes into play. Have you been struggling with this? I get it. I'm here to help. I can help you check out this offer, right? Or go to this blog post or do whatever. It can be testimonials. It can be behind the scenes that's like showcasing your product. So you're showing behind the scenes of whatever the heck you're offering, your process, and you're still talking about your offer, but you're not necessarily being like, hey, buy from me, right? So long story short, there's no real rule of thumb, except that I'm going to tell you that you probably do need to be talking about your offers more often. And that way you can show up and have that touch point with your customers on social media. It's going to increase your sales, of course, but all of your posts do not need to be, hey, buy from me. There's other ways to talk about your offers again and again and really plant that seed in your ideal customer's mind with your content without showing up and being salesy. I hope this makes sense. If you want to talk about this more, definitely reach out to me on Instagram. I would love to chat with you. I'm at Feel Good Social. Once again, I do check my DMs. I answer people. I'll give you an air hug or high five, whatever you're most comfortable with. And we can totally discuss this because I will totally geek out with you about this stuff. But that is the second thing, the probably second most common problem, or probably first most common problem when it comes to why am I not making sales on social media? You're probably not talking about your offers enough. Your customers probably have not seen or understand or know what you're selling enough. Right? So just start talking about your offers more so, and your sales will be boosted. I promise. Okay. Now, the third reason that you might not be making as many sales as you want to on social media is because your ideal customer might not be connecting to your offer emotionally. Okay. So this is a very, very interesting statistic that I actually talk about in episode 33, my storytelling episode. I think it's called like The Secret to Selling on Social, AKA storytelling, because storytelling is so huge when it comes to selling on social media, because 90% of your buying decision, 90% of your purchasing decision is based on emotions and not logic. Okay. And this is a huge, huge thing to understand when it comes to how you're showing up and crafting your marketing messaging, how you're creating posts, all of these things. A lot of us as business owners, as the heads of our business, tend to focus on the what of our offer, right? Because that's what makes sense to us. We have created this offer. And so we're like, okay, here's what you get, customer. Don't you want it? And you would think that they would. But as humans, we don't buy based on logic. We are ultimately compelled to actually take action and put our money down based on emotion normally, right? So I tell that story in episode 33, the storytelling episode, about this sweater that I bought in July because it reminded me of a sweater that I had when I was younger. My dad and I would go cut down Christmas trees. And then I saw this sweater when it was like 90 degrees outside in July, and it was on sale, which was very helpful as well for me. But also I was like, logically, I did not need to buy that sweater. It was freaking hot outside. I have tons and tons of sweaters already that were in storage because it was too hot outside to wear them. And I ultimately, logically, did not need to buy that sweater. Did I buy the sweater? Yes, I did, because I was connecting to it on an emotional level. I was remembering a story from my past and creating a story in my mind about my future, the upcoming Christmas when Brett and I would go cut down Christmas tree and all those things, which didn't end up happening because we don't really cut down Christmas trees usually. And, logically it wouldn't make sense. But I ended up buying the sweater because I was emotionally connected to it and compelled to do that. And so I want you to ask yourself, am I connecting my offers to my customers on that emotional level, right? This is going to be so, so powerful when it comes to selling on social media. And I promise if you can connect to your customers emotionally, that is going to compel them to buy from you. So one of the easiest ways to do this is to empathize with your customer's transformation. And I actually do talk about this in my episode when it comes to, I think it was like 6 tips for selling. I think it was like episode 75 or something like that of the Feel Good Social podcast. I talk about this more. So if you want to check it out, definitely do. But basically, if you can empathize with your customers' pain points, the problems they're having now, and what that problem is making them feel right now, and then empathize with their future ideal life after they've solved this problem that you can help them solve with your product, that is huge. And that is one of the best ways to connect to your customer emotionally and connect your offer to your customer emotionally, right? So, for social media, I totally understand how annoying, frustrating, confusing it can be trying to keep up with all the new platform updates and listening to all the experts online shouting about you should do this and you need to do this. And it can just feel so freaking overwhelming. I hate some of the tactics that people shout about that don't feel authentic and feel like they're going to suck your soul, make you cringe, all those things. That's where we're at a lot of times. That's where my ideal customers are at. And I totally empathize with it because I have been there, still am some days. Like, I understand the emotions of where you're at in your journey right now. And it can be frustrating, annoying, overwhelming, confusing, just anxiety inducing, soul sucking, time sucking, energies, all these things, right? You feel yourself building up with emotion right now? And then I also understand what social media marketing can be like and feel like after you create a social media plan of attack that's actually going to work for you, that feels good to you. Okay. And that's what most of my offers help to do, right? So I know that social media can feel inspiring. It can make you excited, creative. It can make you feel joy. It can actually help to boost your sales for your business without wasting your precious time. And you can do it in an authentic way that feels good. I know all that. I've been there and I can empathize with it. And that is my promise of my transformation for most of my offers that I sell for Feel Good Social, is taking you from feeling confused, stressed, overwhelmed to joyful, excited, enthusiastic, feeling like you're actually making a difference. Things are clicking and working in your business, right? So often when I craft sales posts, that is what they look like, okay? Empathizing with those emotions. And it can either be broad transformation, going from A to B. It can be empathizing with a very specific emotion and whatever. But the more you can do that for your offer and your business and create some posts around that, you will boost your sales on social media. Okay. So again, if you have any questions about any of this stuff, I would love to geek out with you, my friend. Just hit me up in the DMs at Feel Good Social on Instagram. All right. Now, another reason you might not be making any sales is that your customers might not see the value in your offer. Okay. And this can be a little bit difficult because we, as a society, tend to undervalue ourselves, right? Especially as women. We've been told to be humble our entire lives, right? We've been told, like, are you worth it, right? A lot of times people do want to get the best deal possible out of all of those things. And so often we will take that mindset that we have internalized, the limiting beliefs we've internalized in our business. And then when we create content about our offers and create salesy posts, we undervalue ourselves. Okay. And so I want to encourage you to really think, have I been cutting myself, my brand, my offers short? Right. And you probably have not been doing this intentionally, right? We all try to show up and charge what we're quote unquote worth. And like, we really try to like embody this confident entrepreneur, this confident CEO. But a lot of times we have these internalized limiting beliefs that doesn't come across then in the content we produce, right? But what I want to encourage you to do is really take a look back at some of your old posts when you have been creating content and showing up and selling and saying, am I actually really portraying what this is worth to people? And I don't know about you, but I honestly don't put a lot of value on money. I mean, a lot of our society does, right? But I think often what we forget to talk about is the benefit that comes from the offers that we are selling. So part of that could be money. Okay. Like this offer could help you to save money, to boost your sales in a certain way, whatever it is. But the benefit could also be time, right? Saving time, being able to be more purposeful and intentional with the time and energy that you spend, all of those things. Your benefit could be becoming more beautiful, all of these things. I really want you to think about what is the benefit? What is the value, the benefit that I'm giving to my people with my offer? How am I ultimately helping them? What does their life look like? What do they gain from this? And really make sure that you are putting that at the forefront of a lot of your messaging when it comes to creating content around your offers. Okay. So for Feel Good Social, a lot of my offers will help you feel more joyful, will take the stress away, will help you be more creative, will ultimately boost your sales on social media, right? Will help you save time, all of these things. I talk about that stuff a lot because that's the benefit and that's the value of most of my offers, right? So think about what that is for you and make sure that you are including that in your messaging because that will help you boost your sales, is telling people what the heck is the value and the benefit of this offer and making sure that you're not selling yourself or your brand or your offer short, right? All right, my friend. What are we on? Fourth, fifth, the whatever tip we are on. The next one is one of the reasons you might not be making sales quite yet is because your customers might not trust you quite yet. And especially when it comes to social media, and especially when it comes to you're just starting out and you're just creating a new business and all of these things, it does take time to develop that know, like, and trust factor that then compels people to actually purchase from you, right? And so if that's the case, I want you to know that it's okay. We all have to overcome these hurdles of trust building, and trust building takes time, especially online, especially when you are developing a new relationship with new people, especially when they have all of these other businesses out there selling the same thing as you and all of those things. It takes time to develop that trust and it takes time to gain those sales. But there are certain things that you can do to help move along the trust building process with your ideal customers so that people actually do want to buy from you. And one of those ways is to humanize your brand and make sure you are showing up in a human, relatable way. Okay. Humanizing your brand, which ultimately is kind of my process for figuring out your brand's vibe on social media, which I do have my brand vibe quiz. If you haven't taken that yet, it's feelgoodsocial.com/quiz. Super fun quiz. Definitely go take that. But humanizing is the cornerstone for me when it comes to branding. Okay. Because humanizing, leaning into your human elements of your brand, creating a persona for your brand is really what is going to make your brand stand out from all the other Jane Schmaine businesses out there that are just like yours, but not as cool, right? It's also going to help make your brand more relatable, more likable, more trustworthy, so that you can really gain the trust of your people faster and they'll feel compelled to buy from you more so, right? So definitely do that. And then another thing you could think about doing is sharing about your customers currently. This is something that is really, really important for gaining trust in specific offers and specific products and services that you're selling to people. Is if you've worked with other people in the past, if you've sold products to other people in the past and they've loved it and they have a story of how it's helped them, or they've given you a straight up testimonial like this chick rocks, definitely work with her or something like that, share that stuff on social media because that will especially help to develop trust. Not only in you as a brand, but also in the offers that you're selling, right? So first thing I want you to do is think, how can I humanize my brand more? So how can I show up and be more relatable and develop trust as a brand with my people in the best way? And if you want resources on that, the Brand Vibe quiz is great. Definitely check out my former episodes that have to do with brand vibe and all those things. And then also specifically when it comes to your offers, definitely share that social proof, share the testimonials, share stories of previous customers who you have helped. The transformation stories are super, super awesome for empathizing with the emotions like we talked about before. And then also saying, this is how she was feeling. Have you felt that way too? Then I helped her do this. And now she feels this way. Don't you want to feel that way? Like that's a double whammy. All right. So think about that. And then finally, one of the bigger and more simple problems that you can solve when it comes to social media, marketing and making more sales is often our customers don't know how to buy from us. Okay. And this seems so obvious, but it's so true and it's so important. Okay. So if you're showing up and selling on social media and you're like, I'm doing all the things. I'm doing the emotional connection part and I'm talking about my offers more, and people seem really into them, but they're not actually making the purchase. They're not actually hitting the buy button. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. You might want to take a look at, are you actually telling people how they can buy from you and asking them directly to buy from you, giving them direct instructions as to how to buy from you. Are you doing that, my friend? Because that is a very, very simple fix. And it was one of the most powerful fixes to a very common problem when it comes to actually making sales on social media. So one of the best ways and easiest ways you can remedy this is simply by making sure that you're always adding calls to actions to your social media content. Okay. Calls to action are basically like whatever post you're creating, you're portraying some sort of idea to your reader, to your audience, right? What next action do you want them to take when they're finished consuming your post? Okay. So it needs to be very direct and instructional and just very to the point. And especially when it comes to sales posts and any posts where you're talking about your offers, just simply at the end of your post, tell people, go to the link in my bio to buy this now, or whatever it is, right? Tell them exactly the next step, the next obvious step that they need to take when it comes to how the heck they can buy from you. Because people respond really, really well to direct instruction, okay? We've grown up in a society that has told us exactly what we need to do every step of the way. And if someone tells you exactly what you need to do, you respond really well to that. You're like, okay, cool. I know what I need to do. I'm going to go do that, right? Especially if it's an obvious next step that your customer feels compelled to do. But if it's kind of vague, if they get to your website and they're like, I don't even know where to go for this. Like if you have cutesy, navigation bar titles or whatever it is, we get very, very distracted very easily. And so that could be a major mishap in your selling funnel, right? If you take away anything from this podcast today, probably the easiest and possibly the most impactful thing that you can do to improve, to boost your sales when it comes to your marketing content and social media content specifically, is to just make sure you are always letting your people know exactly how they can take that next step and actually make the purchase from you, right? So if you have any questions about that, once again, hit me up on Instagram in the DMs, my friend. I would absolutely love to chat with you. I'm at Feel Good Social. If you have enjoyed this episode, please share it with a business buddy who would also love to hear it. And also, if you feel so inclined, I would love for you to share it to your Instagram stories and make sure that you tag me at Feel Good Social, because if you don't, I won't be able to see it. And I definitely want to see it, reshare it, spread some love right back to you in the DMs and give you a follow and all that jazz. So I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day, my Feel Good friend, and I will catch you next time I catch you. Thanks so much for listening, my friend. For show notes and a whole lot of other awesome freebies, visit feelgoodsocial.com. Simply go to feelgoodsocial.com for all the goods.